I'm about to show you guys one of my favorite ways to clean nasty upholstery that has never been cleaned before with 2 products and a steamer. No extractor and no other fancy equipment. What's going on, guys? Luke here with Wilson Auto Detailing, owner and operator of a Nashville-based detailing business. Now, before we jump into the upholstery cleaning strategies I'm showing you here, I want to make sure you guys know tomorrow, Thursday at 6 p.m. Pacific time, I'm hosting a live skills training, live hands-on paint correction training via Zoom. I've never done this before, and it's totally free. There are less than 25 spots left. To grab them, go below in the YouTube description box and click the link, register your spot with your email. Like I said, it's totally free, and I've never hosted a hands-on training via Zoom, but this is going to be about 2 hours worth of really valuable training, and it's going to be relatively intense, so make sure to bring a notebook if you are going to come live. And if you come live, get prepared for some giveaways, because we are doing some awesome giveaways for people who are there live. Again, the link to register is in the YouTube description box below. We're going to be taking a business approach to paint correction hands-on training, because it is absolutely a waste of money to spend thousands of dollars to go get trained in paint correction if you don't have a business model to follow, and that's what we're correcting tomorrow night at the live training. Now, let me jump into this video. You're going to see me doing some very simple things, and I want to explain them really quickly. Number one, you're going to see me using an initial upholstery cleaner. You're going to see me rub that in with my hands with gloves on. Then you're going to see me top it with another upholstery cleaner. Then you're going to see me use a drill brush. Then you're going to see me mop up and clean up with a steamer. There's a few things about this situation that make it really appropriate for anybody detailing interiors on a regular basis. Number one, this type of upholstery is inside of a Honda Accord. It is cheap, okay? Even though you spend $20,000 to $30,000 on a car like this, it is still cheap upholstery. Number two, because it's cheap, it's this really stretched mesh, thin piece of fabric that when it gets stained, and it's hard to even call it fabric because it kind of feels almost like leather. It's so stretched tight, but nonetheless, it's actually upholstery. When it gets stained, it can be basically impossible to pull out that stain altogether. A lot of detailers make the mistake with this material thinking that if I extract it, I will get better results. Because you might be looking at this thinking, Luke, if this is so stained, why not just take an extractor to it? An extractor will do nothing to this type of material, and I mean literally nothing. A steamer is what is necessary. So to explain the products and tools here, I'm using first an enzyme cleaner. It's from P&S Carpet Cleaning System. So I'm going to initially use that enzyme cleaner and let it sit, rub it in with my hand. Then I'm going to top it with Carpet Bomber diluted 5:1. I come in next with the drill brush you see me using here. It's just a soft stiffness drill brush. And then the final part is really what I want to emphasize here, which is what I think will speed so many of you guys up, even in the nasty upholstery situation. I'm going to first dry as much of it off, as much of the chemical off as I can with a towel, then come in with my steamer. I'm using my single head steamer. So what I mean by that is I'm not using like a nylon bristle brush on the end of the steamer. I'm just using the hookup to the end of the steamer that shoots out a straight jet line stream of steam. Then I'm taking a completely dry and a completely new microfiber towel with each new piece of upholstery, and I'm using my steamer to basically blast really hot liquid into the seat and then rubbing really hard back and forth with my dry microfiber towel to mop up as much as possible. That is the only way to get the stains off of this type of upholstery. You cannot pull it out with an extractor. The extractor would have to put out such hot water and have such high suction power that you'd be, spending 20 grand on that type of machine, and no detailers are doing that. The reason why the steam works is because, believe it or not, the stains in this type of upholstery truly are surface stains. They don't actually get below that mesh fabric into the cushion and start to wick and all that sort of stuff. Because this stuff is so tight, it actually does keep the stain in the surface. The other thing to note here is that the type of staining on this type of material that, again, almost looks shiny like leather because it's upholstery, but it's so tight it doesn't even feel like fabric. The type of staining here is basically a lot of like body oil staining. And what I mean by that is this type of material is really good at like grabbing the dirt from your fingertips, from the back of your legs, if you're on the driver's seat, if you're, sitting on the seat with your knees or something like that. Basically the general dirt on somebody's body, okay? It grabs this stuff like a magnet, basically. And so, like I said, it gets really dirty. If it's not a black material, you can see it really early, but it gets really dirty and it's all sitting in the surface. And so an extractor does not pull it out, because once that dirt gets trapped in there, it's like a steel trap, right? It just keeps it there. And so what the liquid from the steamer does is provide just enough water to move around the chemical that I just sprayed and agitated with a drill brush for me to actually start to mop it up with a microfiber towel. And of course, the heat does the exact same thing. So I'm using that steamer directly onto the area that I'm basically taking my microfiber towel to, essentially to loosen it up and then to grab as much as I can as is possible with the microfiber towel. The second thing I want to emphasize here is that with each new seat, I'm using a new microfiber towel. What I mean by new is not necessarily new out of the package, but completely dry and completely clean. I have to use 6 to 8, maybe even 10 microfiber towels to do this properly. It's one of those areas of the interior that does require that. The reason being is, if I take a wet microfiber towel to any new upholstery, I'm not going to get that mopping up action that is the whole point of the steaming process with this particular type of material. I have to have a completely dry towel. The other thing to mention here is it is best, and I don't always do it, but it is best to fold it into quarters, so fold it into fourths, because the more kind of cushion on cushion or microfiber towel on microfiber towel you can have, the more absorption you're going to get when you're coming in next to the steamer like you see me doing here. It's going to be best. It's just like cleaning headliner. The more towel on towel you have, the better absorption you're going to get. This is absolutely the most effective way to clean this type of upholstery, and if you don't use an enzyme cleaner first, like I mentioned, you're going to have a much harder time because the type of dirt, like I said, that is on this really new, modern, cheap, tight weave fabric is a lot of body oils. It's a lot of organic material. That enzyme cleaner is really important. Then I can just take my pressure washer and blast off the mats, and the rest of the upholstery becomes really, really easy once I take care of this more difficult part. Now, as always, I will link up all the tools and products I mentioned here below. They're very inexpensive to get your hands on, and they are so helpful. In the same area in the YouTube description box below, there will be a link to register for tomorrow's live training via Zoom. We're taking a business approach to hands-on paint correction. I promise you do not want to miss this. If you are at all doing any paint correction or ceramic coatings or getting into that in your detailing business, this is going to revolutionize the way you look at it, you get started, and it's going to save you a ton of money. Guys, thank you so much for being involved, and as always, from Luke here at Wilson Auto Detailing, remember, a great detailer is always learning, and I will see you guys in the next video.